111, so which is back to our daily area of interest. So this is also where price currently is now, which is the daily area of interest. Looking left is a very strong zones in which price has been respecting in previous times. So this also looks like a very nice trade for us. Okay, so what we need for the coming week is price. Let me shift this a little bit. Okay, so what we need is price to give us a buy to sell scenarios. Okay, for price to heading back to between 106k, all right, to the downsides on BTC. So whenever you're watching this video and this trade is still very much valid, you can take.
Hey peeps, at my FS right here. Welcome back to our weekly market forecast. So this is a weekly market forecast for the week of the 10th to the 14th of November. So this is actually the second trading week for the month of November, and you can see that for the longest of time we have been having a very good profitable month for now, and we had a very good profitable week too, from the trade calls and signals in which we were able to smash a lot of trades. We had banked over 500 pips plus in total in all trades in which we had. Signals were also being sent on our free Telegram community, so that's why it's very important to join our free Telegram community, because we're still sending out free trade calls till the end of the year. I always try as much as possible to make you guys dirty December money, free money, when it gets to the end of the year each year, while I also make out time to go for my vacations and all. So without further ado, before we get into the business of the day, due to statistics, over 70 to 80% of you are yet to subscribe to this channel, so please do well to smash that subscribe button, like, and always drop a comment on the comment section. You can drop some fire emoji on the comment section, some love reactions or heart reactions there on the comment sections if you always like what we do. This also encouraging us to continue doing better. All right, so let's move over to the business of the day. So we are starting up with BTC. So for BTC for last week and weeks before for last week, we had BTC on somewhere around here, in which when I was doing the weekly market forecast, I called the sell straight up on the live video from last week, and I told you guys that I'm not sending you guys any bearish any bullish scenarios, that I'm only seeing price go bearish and going bearish to as far as our 100k. You can see BTC went even as low as 98,000 dollar. Okay, so I called BTC all the way from the up here all the way to RTP2, which is 100k, which is his zones, and we're able to take some good two nice trades there on BTC for that week. So this is why you guys call me the prophetic analyst. And if you did not watch the video or you think you are capping, here is the video.
I'm not going to give you bullish side of things for now, because price still looks clearly bearish. Okay, so if price continues bearish here, let's say you miss this first entry somewhere around here, okay, you must not miss the second entry, which is the break, the retest, and you look at this trend line, which is a 103. okay, you can see the trend line is coming all the way from the downsides, guys, okay, which I've been speaking about in previous side. So overall we are seeing BTC go to this trend line, which is 103k, and overall this support, which is 100k. okay, so we are targeting BTC to going back to 100k, so we can be adding positions all the way to the downside. So that's it for BTC.
So you can see why you guys call me the prophetic analyst. So price was somewhere around here. We had that trade called for BTC. I also told you guys that we are selling all the way from here, and we had price drive all the way to our TP1, smashed, and we also added another entry here. We took the trades, which I'm going to add somewhere around here, and all these trades were also being sent on our free Telegram community. So if you're not on a free Telegram community, click on the link on the description to join. Just like I said, we are sending free trade calls for you guys, so it's always my pleasure that I'm able to make you guys money, not just on currency pays, but while we are also trading cryptos. Okay, so this should also show you how reliable our trading strategy are and our trade calls. So we don't just analyze these things, we also try as much as possible to take these trades too. And for now, I'm sending these trades call all for free. Okay, so moving forward for BTC, let's see how last week actually closed. Okay, so let's look at the weekly time frame. So here on the weekly time frame, you guys can remember for like 3-4 weeks back, I've been calling BTC to go all the way to the 100k zones, which is here. Why is this so? We also had a trend line there which is coming all the way from the downside, so you can see that bounce there. So I was calling BTC to come to this trend line, which also rhymes with this support here and matches with our 100k overall zones. Okay, so these things, like I told you guys, it may take time, okay, but it just took like 2 weeks for this to happen. So these are no magics. Okay, all what you just need to do is have a good chart time, have the right strategy like mine, and you also know how well to react. So how was I able to call these trades? Is because I saw chart patterns, okay, not the regular kind of chart patterns that you guys speak about. There's something I call the divergence. Okay, the divergence of price. I've been calling this divergence for the longest of time. If you look at, I don't even have to pull up my divergence tool to know that this is a divergence. Some people may tell you indicators don't work, but it's how you use it or where and when you use it. So you can see how price is going to the upside here on the main chart and how price is coming down here on the RSI. So this is the differential signal in which you use to understanding that price is about to reverse. And this thing is something I've already called from a month or two back. Okay, I could even add the video somewhere around here. Okay, so BTC has been bearish for the longest. Okay, so when I saw this happening, I started projecting the sales on BTC, and hence why if you observe my trade calls for the past few weeks, okay, before now I've been sending sales and only sales on BTC, and all our trades are actually smashing take profits. Okay, so moving forward, this is it for the last week. We had previous week closed bearish, last week was super bearish, which we also were opportune to take those trades too and send those trade calls out. So let's go to the 4-hour time frame to see where is the base level areas to take that trade call. So here on the 4-hour, we had the sales all the way to 100k, which is our zone. So what do you think would happen? So if we squeeze price here, looking left, you can see we had previous, this is why it's called a zone. So you see that previous support, so price has reacted off that same zone for the third time. So it's when price comes to zones like this is no easy area. Okay, this is no easy zone. It's actually a very strong zone from the look of things. Okay, so this is a higher time frame area of interest, which matches with the daily and the weekly time frame. So we may most likely have price give us some pullbacks, more like a buy to sell scenarios. Okay, so you can even see this initial time price broke out of this trend line, bounce off there, and I took that sales, which I also sent it as a free trade call, which I'm going to add it somewhere around in this video, and we made money from it. So I may not be speaking so much about trend lines, but trend lines also work, okay, if you know how to use it or where to use it. So we saw how price broke, bounced off that trend line, and we took that sales all the way to the downsides and we exited. You can see our entry, sniper entry, little to no reversals, and sniper exit. Okay, so you're seeing price most likely bouncing off these zones again twice. Okay, so what do you think may happen? So I have a very open mind here, so we may be having price give us a buy to sell scenarios. Okay, so let me put this into context. All right, so price is currently on this zone, is still very much on that zone. For me, I will plot another zone right about here. Okay, let me plot another zone right about here. All right, so plot another zone right about there. So what do you want to see price do? Okay, we may have a buy, price may start buying all the way from here. Okay, then I'd love to see price break out of this high, create a new higher high, then go to this next level of the 106 zones, then before we could have our sales to the downside. So, okay, there will be a lot of scenarios to this. Okay, there'll be a lot of I'm going to give you guys some few scenarios of price playing out to this. Okay, so if that fails, right, if that fails, I would love to see price continue selling, because we are still very much bullish. Okay, I'd love to see price continue selling from here all the way to our next zone. Where is our next zone? Wow, there's a lot of space to the downside, guys. There's a lot of space to the downside. So I'll take this zone, I'll expand this like so. All right, so there's a lot of space to the downside. So this is quite far. Let me take this second one. All right, so this is more than 1,000 pips. Okay, so this is why I say we project 500 to 1,000 pips into the future. So price can start selling all the way from this trend line all the way to the 95k zones, or I'll go as deep as the 92k. So we are still expecting more bleeding on the crypto market. Okay, crypto has passed the era of only buying. Okay, you can see I've been buying, I've been selling in between. Okay, we took sales, we took sales, we took buys, we took sales, we took buys. Okay, when it was bullish, we were taking buys too. When it's bearish, we change our analysis and take sales. So you have to understand that crypto has passed the era of only buying. Okay, you have to trade with the trend, and what do we always say? The trend is our friend. All right, so since price is still very much on this zone, we could still have price push to this trend line again for the third time and start selling from the first level, 99k, 100% retracement level, 95k, all the way to the downside. So these are the different scenarios to BTC. Do well to mark them out on your phone or your trading device. Up next is gold. So for gold for last week, gold has been a little bit stubborn and tricky at the same time. So gold for last week, we took we projected some bearishness, which you can see all the way down here. First level target was the 3887, which is this blue bar here. Okay, but price was a little bit shy away of that zone, but it did over 70% of the drop. So if you also took our trade calls, and for people that like selling gold or like trading gold, they were still able to take the trade calls on gold, and they were able to take good advantage of that sales there, and they made a lot of money for themselves. So this is a lot of bearishness regardless all the way there. But I did not trade gold for myself because I was busy with BTC and some few other trades. Okay, so gold is still very much tricky. Okay, gold is somewhere around here, is still bouncing off here. So that means last week projection still played out clearly. So it's nothing really different. Okay, so we still have price. Let's check the weekly time frame, guys. All right, let's check the weekly time frame. So you can see gold has been bullish for the longest. I think this is the last week, how last week closed with this doji candle. So it's a cause for concern, doji candle. Okay, so you guys know what that means. So this is a cause for concern, this doji candle. So we may have a bullish engulfing candle followed by that. Okay, but keep your mind open. So that's why I may be giving you guys some bullish and bearish scenarios for gold for next week. Okay, for the coming week. So you should have an open mind towards gold, because gold is quite tricky right now. All right, so anything could happen on gold. All right, so gold is still very much on this daily area of interest. You can see price has been bouncing off the severally for the longest. Okay, so what can we do for gold here? Or what we need to see, I'll give you guys bearish scenarios first before the bullish scenarios. All right, so for the bearish scenarios, nothing different from last week. We could see price, we want to see price drop all the way from here to the downside. So maybe if you have a 4-hour bearish engulfing candle, you can take your sales, put your stops around here. All right, put your stops above this area of the 4038, then target first level target, which is your 3888, 388 ounce to the downside, then you can go as far as your 3749 ounce to the downsides. Okay, so for the bullish sides of things, okay, you have to be very patient. Okay, trading is quite patient. Okay, it's about, you have to be 80% patient and 20% execution. So you have to see price break out of this resistance here, creates a slight new higher high, a retest back to this zone. So this can happen between the 1 hour or your minutes time frame. A retest on this zone, then we should be targeting the 4130. Okay, 4130 ounce. Then you could go even as high as your 4205 ounce to the upsides. Okay, so let's go back to the weekly time frame so you guys could see what I'm talking about. All right, so since gold is still very much bullish, we could still have what we may have in what looks here could be a little pullback. All right, you know, price moves in a wave, so this could be a pullback for gold, and price may continue back to creating a new higher high of somewhere around here, pullbacks and continuation. So right, so that'll be it for gold. Gold could either go bullish or bearish next week, okay, due to the fundamentals that we'll be having playing out from next week. But since the US economy is quite shaky too, all right, like last week we did not have NFP. Okay, we did not have NFP I think for 2 weeks now or more. All right, we haven't had NFP, so the US economy is on pause. So what does this mean? People would most likely take out their money from gold, from the US economy, and invest them in safe havens like gold. Okay, so that's why I'm giving you guys bullish scenarios on gold this week. Okay, it may most likely happen if what is happening on the US continue. Okay, so we may have bullishness for next week, but just keep your fingers crossed and mark these zones on your phone or your trading device. Up next is the DXY. All right, so for the DXY for last week, we wanted price to give us a break, continuations to the upside, and clearly that happened. We had more like a buy to sell scenario. So if you're a buyer or a seller for last week, you definitely make money from the DXY. Why do we analyze the DXY? This is to give us a nice understanding of price direction towards over 7 to 8 base that has the USD. Okay, so with the directional bias, if you can decipher the directional bias on the DXY, it will be easier for us to take the next trading decisions on over 7 to 8 base, like the Euro USD, GDP, JPYs, and a lot of trades too. Okay, so moving on for DXY, let's see how the weekly time frame actually closed. Okay, it's always important each and every week you look at your weekly time frame closure. It's very important how the candles close, okay, because the candles could be giving you some sort of information. Okay, so we can see how price closed here with more like a hammer, a pin bar, a doji, whatever you may call it. So we may have a little bit bearishness again next week. Okay, this is a little bit tactical or tricky, or price could continue from here and go to the upside. So you have to be very patient on the coming weeks and see how price moves. Okay, so here on the daily time frame, you can see price is still bouncing off. Okay, price is still bouncing off this our weekly and daily area of interest. Okay, so you don't expect price to start moving from such zones easily. We may have some sort of tussle between buyers and sellers too. Okay, so let's go to the 4-hour time frame to have more context on this. Okay, so on the 4-hour time frame, just like we wanted last week, okay, we could have price coming to this area, which price is already there, okay, or a little bit of range on this zone, then on the zone of the $99, okay, $99, then we could go up to the upsides from here, clearly to the upsides from here, okay, which is a 100% retracement level. Can we see our next support? All right, let's mark out our next support. It's quite far. but let's just mark it out. So if price is able to start bullish, we should be looking at price going all the way more than 1,000 pips to the upsides over to 101 dollar or point to the upsides. If that zone fails, remember this zone also matches with the trend line, so this place is quite tricky. If this zone fails, we also have this second minor zone here, which is the 98.763. okay, these zones here, price could come into that zone. Remember, both zones also matches this trend line. This trend line is coming all the way from the downsides, okay, for the longest. So you can see the power of trend lines too and what it can do. Okay, so that trend line is coming all the way from the downside, so we could even have price just come in here a little weak and start pushing to the upside. So what I would really be looking at is my daily and 4-hour candle close on the DXY. So with this, it will give us better context on the DXY and the next move. So if price bounce off from here, we target first level targets 99.93 point or dollar, then we go as high as a 101 to the upsides. Okay, so that's it on the DXY. Up next is Euro USD. For last week we had price give us a break, a retest, and price gave us like 50 to 70% drop, in which we're looking for before price later reversed to the upside. So for the coming weeks, where is our next possible directional buyer? So let's look at how the weekly time frame closed. Like I always say, it's very important to look at the weekly time frame close. So last week closed with this doji candle, okay, so and it's somewhere around the support on a lower time frame, but would this count? We are going to know about that when we go down to the other time frame. So here on the monthly time frame, okay, so here on the for the daily time frame, price, remember these are chart pattern here, left, right, head, shoulders. So this is why we're able to take some nice sells for the longest on Euro USD and several other pays. So here on the daily time frame, I think I'm going to keep it at the daily time frame. Is neat. Okay, so you can see price has been creating series of highs, lows, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. A new lower low has been created. So what do you think is going to happen? A new lower high, a new lower low, a new lower high, a new lower low. So this is the pattern in which price move. Don't expect price to move in a straight line. I always say this is simple analogy of trading. Okay, price moves in a wave and not in a straight line. Okay, price does not move in a straight line. Even though it does, a wave would come back to fill it back. Okay, so we are still very much bearish, and it will only be nice enough to know that price is coming to create a new lower high, okay, here around these zones, which price has already tapped into that zone. So we could have a little bit tussle, okay, a little bit range on these zones before we may have the actual drop on Euro USD. So get your eyes very keen on Euro USD for next week, because we may be having some super bearishness from there from next week, or price may close with a doji candle for next week, and we may have the bearishness weeks to come. Okay, so here on the weekly time frame, on the daily time frame, I will just stop at the daily time frame. So all what we need to see is more like a buy. Right, price has wicked into this zone, the zones between the 1.1574 and 1.1608. okay, then we can go bearish to as low as 1.1395, okay, to the downside. So I'm going to take this out. So we are still super bearish. We can even see how the last candle for last week closed, a doji candle too. Okay, but this is not just the only reason for that bearishness. You should have other extra confirmation. Just like I've told you guys, use your trading strategy, or you can use mine, and you can also take these trades calls. Okay, so that's it for Euro USD. Up next is GBP USD. for GBPUSD for last week, and we had some nice sales to buy scenarios, which we also called into precision, and we were able to make a lot of money from GBPUSD. We took, remember, I'm still holding these sales all the way from this upsides on GBPUSD. I took some profit somewhere around here on Wednesday, I think Wednesday or Thursday, before this pullbacks. I took some profit. I'm still holding on a very small lot, which I think I'm going to add it somewhere around in this video for you guys to see. For those of you that have been with us for the longest, you remember that I had, even here on the YouTube, I'm taking you guys along on the journey of this GBPUSD, which is currently the only trade I'm swinging currently. So this is why I tell you guys that you don't just swing any trades. We actually know the kind of trades we wish to swing. Do this again for you guys to see, so it will not look like I'm capping. So when we say we project, so you can see I've banked over 439 pips, okay, 439 pips so far on that trade. So when we say that we project 500 to 1,000 pips into the future, this no capping, okay, we also take these trades too. And the best of it all is these were also free trades that I also sent, okay. So while I'm still holding these sales, I still took these buys, okay, for last week, which I also sent the signal to the free Telegram community, which I'm going to add somewhere around here, and a lot of you were able to make good profit and good money for yourself. And yeah, so I think let's see how many pips that was for last week. Over 136 pips. So if you add all of this, you most likely bank 700 or to 1,000 pips overall from all the trades that we took for last week. So back to our next level target. So let's look at the weekly time frame, how we close, and where is our next possible directional bias for GBPUSD. Remember GBPUSD, you can remember this chart pattern, same chart pattern you saw on EURUSD, okay, left shoulder, right shoulder, and the head right about there. So this is a very nice chart pattern in which these are the reasons why I was able to hold these sales. I even told you guys on the VIP channel that when I see my next sales, when price was somewhere around here, that I'm going to hold it for the longest. So you can only do this if you are my mentee. You can only do this if you have my mentorship or you're learning from me directly. You can, it's not every trade that you have to swing, okay. It's not like this particular trade I'm sending to you guys, you start swinging. There are some trades that you swing, there are some trades you have to take profit and wait for the next possible trades, okay. So we can see GDP here, GBPUSD here on the weekly time frame. Last week closed with more like this hammer candle, shooting star, doji, whatever you may call it, okay. So this looks like a little reversals candle, okay, that the buyers were able to push price to an extent back to these zones. So I'm going to give you guys bullish and bearish scenarios, okay, because anything could happen. We could have more bullish continuations for next week, and we could see price drive all the way to the downside. And if you guys remember, this is also the same trade I used for our thumbnail for last week. So if you observe, like I always say, a lot of informations are always included on our thumbnail, so you always have to look at them really good, because that could also be a trade signal for you guys, okay. So for GBPUSD, I'll keep it at the daily time frame, okay. So I'll keep it at the daily time frame. So here on the daily time frame, we could have price a little bit buy, then we have price bounce off this area, maybe some weak rejections, some tussle, some range for some few days or few hours before we have that sell. So why is this? So looking left, you can see this is an area of interest, daily area of interest, that price has been bouncing off 1, 2, 3, 4, okay. Then we could have price sell from there, okay, back to our 1.30331, okay. So more like a buy to sell scenario. So like I said, I'll give you guys bullish and bearish scenarios, then we can go all the way to this downside, okay. So that's it for the bearish side. Then for the bullish side, we could see price create a new higher high, break out of this high, okay, retest this zone again, okay, the zone of the 1.31810. then we should be targeting our 1.33049. okay, this could be the resultant for next week. We could have more bullish continuations, and if that happens, I don't really see price moving past these areas again. okay, we could now start having the sales from this area of the 1.3309 to all the way back to 1.30325, okay, to the downsides. So if price starts selling from here, although this is a little bit too much or far, we should be having another almost 300 pips drop, 300 pips actually, another 300 pips drop to the downside. So these are the kind of trades I want, and these are the kind of zones or areas that you see me swing another set of trades from GBPUSD. So that's it for GBPUSD for this week. The last but not the least, USDJPY. So without taking much of your time, USDJPY for last week closed with this doji candle, nothing too much on the weekly time frame. Let's check the daily time frame to see how price is doing. Here on the daily time frame, price also closed with more like a doji candle. okay, so I'm going to mark out a zone here from the daily time frame. All right, I'll mark out a zone like so. So all what we need to see on USDJPY could be price may start being bullish from here. Remember, USDJPY is directly correlated with the DXY. So if that bullishness that we are looking for on DXY happens, the best trade kind of pace you should be trading is USDJPY. okay, and they have a high grade of correlation. So we could have price start bullish from the 153 area to the upside. So let's look at for the next support level. okay, this is our next support level, which is the 155 points and all the way to 157 to the upside. okay, so not too much gimmicks on here. Even though you go to the 4-hour time frame, okay, even though you go to the 4-hour time frame, this also makes sense right here. all right, if you go to the 4-hour time frame and observe how USDJPY has been moving for the previous week, okay, you can see USDJPY has been creating series of highs, lows, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. So what do you think would happen next? okay, we'll have price create a new higher high, a new higher low, a new higher high. So this is actually how price moves. okay, price moves in a wave form, okay, either to the upside or to the downside. So we can see even here on the 4-hour time frame, you see price has been having a little tussle, okay, a little tussle on this daily area of interest, looking left. okay, so this looks almost like a very good trade for us. Price, if this actually closed as a bullish engulfing candle, it would have been better. So you can just put your stops here. all right, you can just put your stops here, target your phase 1:2, 1:3. you can do your 1:2, 1:3, which is 1555. then you can go all the way to the 157, okay, which is all the way to the upside there. okay, so that's it for this week, guys. If you watch this video to this very moment, congratulations, and smash that like button, drop some fire emoji on the comment section if you like what we're doing. Always remember to comment and let us know how well our weekly analysis have helped you so far. And if you are not on our free Telegram community, click on the link on the description or the first comment. okay, you see the link to our free Telegram community so that you can also be able to enjoy the free goodies that we give to you guys, free trade calls and the free knowledge. We also host a weekly market breakdown too, so you can also be learning indirectly or directly from the prophetic analyst myself. So that'll be it for this week. Always remember to plan your trades and trade only your plan. See you guys next week. Cheers.